Welcome, my constant reader friends. I'm Tad, and this is Tad Reads Books and Stuff. So, we're in November 3rd today, and I'm going to use today's video to catch up, because I read this book a month ago, and I just, so things were happening, and October was coming, and I wanted to do the spooky season read, and I never got to do a review of this book. What is this book? All right, so this is Sister of Starlit Seas. This is by Terry Brooks, and as you know, I'm a huge fan of Terry Brooks. So actually, my girlfriend was going through some pictures, and she had some pictures of me with Terry that I didn't have, so I said, hey, send those to me. So I might go ahead and put some here, now, 1 or 2 or 3, couple pictures. Yeah, so I got to see Terry at a book signing, and I was standing in line. I got up to the table, and he says, come on back here. And Judy, his wife, is like, Terry, you don't let people back there. He said, this is my friend. And I went back there, and this is what happened. It was awesome. Yeah, he was telling me how much he liked my hair, and he loved my tattoos. He wished he would have got them, but he said he's too old. When I was able to meet Terry Brooks, one of my all-time favorite authors. This book was published November of 2023, and again, it's the 3rd book in what they're calling the Viridian Deep series. If you know Terry Brooks, he kind of writes trilogies, but they're part of a whole world or a whole series that all kind of join together. He's got a couple of these, of course, Shannara. He's got the Kingdom for Sale Sold series. I'm wondering if this is going to be like that. This is the 3rd book. He just has never said, oh, I'm just going to do a trilogy or whatever. And because of how this book is, what this book is, I'm leading to believe he could write other books in this series. So I'm not going to say it's a trilogy, although it is the 3rd book of the series so far. Why do I say that, though? Really is because this book is about Char. So if you've read the other 2 books, Child of Light was the 1st book, that followed this girl, and her name was Aris, and she goes through her trials and tribulations in the first 2 books, coming to terms with, being a slave at first, and then getting away, and then escaping to this Fae island world that she really doesn't remember, but she actually is a Fae herself, and she learns about that, and meets her family, adopted. It's 2 books. Go read it. It's fun, really fun. But this one is Char, who was one of her sisters in this family. Char is an adopted sister. That's how this family is. It's kind of an adoptive type kind of family of different children becoming family. Oh, I didn't give you all the numbers. So this book on Goodreads right now has a 3.82 rating, which is pretty darn good. How many pages does it have? This isn't a huge book, and if you've read Terry Brooks at all, he's not a difficult writer. He doesn't get too philosophical or scientific in his books. And this one has 284 pages. It is a first. I don't believe I have this one signed by Terry. I've got a lot of his books are signed. This one is not. But okay, so I gave this 3 stars. And you're going to say, Ted, this is your favorite author and you enjoy reading him so much. Why only 3 stars? It's a good book. It's a darn good book, but it's nothing special. If you are a fan of Terry Brooks, you're absolutely going to want to read this. If you haven't, it's great. It's a fun read. It's entertaining. It's a cool story, but it's nothing special. It doesn't go above and beyond, anything that I've read before. So I'm not giving it a 4. It's not the strongest story that he's ever written, I don't think, after reading it. It's solid, but it's, you know what I'm saying? It's just not anything special that would bump me up to rating it a 4 or a 5. Yes, if you're a Terry Brooks fan, you may say this is a 5, right? And that's fine. If you're not a Terry Brooks fan, you're probably not going to read it, which is fine. So, I'm just kind of keeping it real here. It wasn't great. It wasn't stupendous or anything like that. It was solid. It was a solid book. Good book. Fun to read. All right, so let's get back to Char. So Char happens to be the youngest of the children in this family. Some of them adopted, some of them not adopted. Maybe some of them with different parentage. But she's the youngest. And like a lot of young children, she doesn't like being the youngest person in the family. Everyone in her family, they're fae, and they have special abilities, and they can do some crazy things, and they're really important to the community and things like that. And she's just this young girl, thinking that everybody's always telling her what to do, thinking that everybody's being overprotected of her all the time because she's the youngest. The mother is now passed on. She's the mother of the family. The matriarch of the family is gone. And she's growing up. So right before her 15th birthday, she runs away. She takes off. She's not going to take it anymore. I'm not going to let these people tell me what to do. Even being that before she even became, she ran away, she was starting to be, a little rebellious. She was a bit of a hellion. She was always trying to, I don't know if she wanted attention, so she was doing crazy things, dangerous things, nothing horrible, like illegal or anything like that, but just, pushing the boundaries all the time. And to the point where finally she just runs away. So that's really where this story starts. There's not a lot of that backstory. You learn it as you read. This book really starts 3 years later, after she's run away. And in the meantime, what she's done is she's joined a crew of human pirates. So now she's a pirate. And she's pretty cool. She's come into her own. She hasn't gone back home. She hasn't had no contact with her family. She's being a pirate. And she kind of falls in love with the pirate captain, right? This human dude. And he loves her because he loves his crew. He's a good captain, and he loves his crew and would die for his crew. And she's a young girl, so I think she takes that as thinking maybe that he's in love with her. So she's kind of in love with him, but it's like an infatuation. It's like a first love type of thing, which we learn, as we go. Well, he gets kidnapped, and she tries to free him, which she does, but in the process, she gets captured, and they torture her to try to find out where the captain is and his ship, and she won't reveal the information, so they strap her to this wheel, and they plunge her into the ocean, and then they leave her there for a minute, and then they pull her up. They're doing kind of like a water torture on her. And one of the times they keep putting her down and then leaving her longer, and she will not give up the ghost. She will not tell where the captain is or give any information. They leave her down there one time, and pretty much they're like, you know what, just leave her there. She's going to die. And she's, trying to hold her breath underwater. She sees some movement in the water, and then she passes out, like dies. But then she comes to, and she feels completely weird, and she's looking around, and there's these people around her. She's still underwater, and what are they? you can kind of see the tails. They're mermaids. So we've got everything in this world. We've got fae, you know, we've got not dwarves, orcs. We have giants, we have dragons, we have fairy, we have sylphs and all the different type of fairies, tree sylphs and water sylphs. That's hard to say. But she is now witnessing these mermaids around her, and she looks down and she has a tail. She's become a mermaid herself. A merrow is what they call them, mermaid. And she can communicate. They kind of communicate telepathy. With telepathy, they kind of talk to each other. And she now has, like, these people offer to take her in. They start teaching her how to be a mermaid and things like that. And they tell her the story that there are actually, it's very, very rare that there are fays that can be both. Can be a mermaid and then can go up on land and have legs and transform into like a human form, kind of. And she apparently is one of these, but it's scary. She's afraid to try it. And she learns that maybe, just maybe, this is a hereditary type of thing. So she was adopted and always thought she was a fairy, but now she's finding out she's a merrow, which means one of her parents must have been a merrow, or at least a mermaid that somehow mated with a human or something. And now her goal in life is to search out and find her true past. And that's the story. She meets another person. She goes back home. She sees her family. And there's a whole story. I'm not going to, go over it all, but it's kind of her trying to come to terms with her adopted family and, still loving them and having a relationship with them, even though she ran away, and her coming to terms with being a merrow, and where was her mother or father, who were they, and trying to discover that, along with some intrigue with the pirates and slavers, and so it's a good story. And it's in this world, this Viridian Deep world that Terry Brooks invented, and it's fun. It's not heavy reading, like I said. It's kind of YA-ish, I would say. But yeah, it's a good book. You should read it. I mean, if you don't read Terry Brooks, this is a good one to get into. You don't have to read the 40 million Shanner of books. You could start with this, and you've got a nice, compact, for now, trilogy that you could read and get involved with Terry Brooks and his writing style and his life. So anyways, that's it. I liked it. I didn't think it was amazing, but I really liked it. And so I gave it 3 stars. All right, that's it. Sisters of Starlit Seas. I'm caught back up for the rest of November. I got my books over here that I'm going to be reading. Yeah, so there you have it, I guess. If you find any entertaining values in my videos, please like, please subscribe, please send me some comments, and until next time, peace out.